In 1986, whether it was the American forces' attack on Libya, in 2002 on Iraq, or then in 2014 on Syria, whenever America wanted, it tried to change the fate of the Middle East. But there is one country that has not come under their control for several decades, and that is Iran. Even today, America and Israel are trying to find cracks in Iran's fortress, which will not be that easy. History has witnessed that for the last 600 years, not even an inch of Iran's borders has moved from its place. Whether the invaders were Romans, Arabs, Turks, Russians, or even the British Empire, Iran has proven time and again that it has the strength to withstand even the biggest attacks. But after all, what is the real secret of this power? What is it that makes Iran completely different and resilient from other Arab countries? Spectators, first of all, let's talk about the gift that Iran has received from nature. If Iran is understood in one sentence, it is a massive fortress. A fortress whose walls were not made by humans but by nature itself. This country is surrounded by mountains on all four sides. The Zagros mountain range in the south is such a mountain chain that acts like a wall for enemies coming from Iran's south. Towards the southwest, these Zagros mountains gradually lean towards Iraq. But towards the northwest they become so harsh and high that they form an impossible border with Turkey. Where there are no mountains, there are marshy areas, especially where the Tigris and Euphrates rivers meet. These marshlands also act as a natural barrier, just like there is a deep moat in front of a fortress. This was about the border with Iraq and Turkey. If we look towards the north, where the Caspian Sea or Azerbaijan is, the Alborz mountain range is present there for protection. If you look towards the east, there are small mountain ranges, wrapped around Iran like a ribbon which form the border with Afghanistan and Pakistan. That is, these mountains have kept Iran safe, like a fortress from all four sides. While in the south, the Persian Gulf is the last wall of this fortress. If someone comes to capture through the Persian Gulf, there are mountains up to 1.5 kilometers high in front, which are spread nearly 250 kilometers deep inside. Geographical location plays a vital role in capturing any country. Similarly, these natural mountain chains have kept Afghanistan safe to this day, whether the enemy was the Soviet Union or America. Similarly, these mountains are so important for Iran's safety that for the last 600 years, for all the attempts made to capture Iran, they have only remained unsuccessful, apart from Iran's borders. If we talk about the inside, two big deserts are present here: Dasht Kuvir and Dasht Lut. These are so barren that people are forced to live on top of the mountains. Iran's total population of 90 million mostly lives in these mountainous regions. This is the reason why for any foreign army, entering Iran and controlling it has always been a terrifying dream. For enemies coming from the land, on one hand, logistics challenges can arise, and on the other hand, the shortage of supply lines. Narrow paths and harsh weather can create new challenges for them every day. But there is another side to the story here. These same mountain ranges, while protecting Iran, also imprison Iran. If seen in history, whenever Iran tried to move towards the west, these same mountain ranges became a major obstacle for Iran too. This is why Iran, to maintain its presence in its south and west, does not fight direct wars, but has created a network of Shia proxy groups, like Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, the Islamic resistance in Iraq, and Hamas, and Islamic Jihad in Palestine. This was the advantage of Iran's geography. Now let's come to the Strait of Hormuz.
As I mentioned in a video before, the Strait of Hormuz holds a tremendous strategic value for Iran. Here you can see that the entire northern part of the Persian Gulf, from beginning to end, belongs to Iran alone, while the lower part is shared by 7 countries: Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, and Oman. This entrance of the Persian Gulf is called the Strait of Hormuz, to whose north is only Iran's coastline, while in the south is a small part of Oman. A V-shape is formed on Iran's side at Hormuz, due to which Iran can better control this part from 3 sides, and the lower part, which is with Oman, is, for one, pointed. Secondly, there are narrow mountain paths there, and it only extends 50 kilometers into Hormuz. At this point, it has always been quite easy for Iran to close Hormuz. And finally, they have used this option after the US-Israel attacks. Iran has clearly said that if any country's ship moves towards Hormuz, it will be burnt down. Through this, it can put pressure not only on Gulf countries, but on the whole world. Because 20% of the world's oil and 90% of Qatar's LNG, along with 5% of the world economy, depends on this Hormuz. In 2025, the world economy was $120 trillion, and after closing Hormuz, $6,000 billion will suddenly vanish from it. If anyone wants to capture or attack Iran, Iran has a valuable asset in closing Hormuz to put the whole world under pressure. Iran has a third advantage of a very long coastline. Iran's total perimeter is 8,731 kilometers, in which 2,815 kilometers is the seacoast on the Caspian Sea and the Persian Gulf. That is, 32% of Iran's border is a sea coastline. And let me tell you that this is no ordinary coast. Normally there is sand after the coast, but here there are mountain ranges, where Iran has installed missile batteries at secret locations. There are caves and many blind spots here, which are not visible even when seen from satellite or drone. If any enemy lands on the ground from the sea, they immediately have to face the mountains, from where they can be attacked suddenly. After geography, the Strait of Hormuz, and the difficult coastline, the third shield to protect Iran from outside invaders is the different ethnicities living there. How? Iran is a multi-ethnic country, meaning not just one community lives there. Persians, Azaris, Kurds, Arabs, Balochs, and Turkmen, along with other different tribes, live here. When a country's public is made up of different ethnicities, the biggest issue here is keeping everyone happy. Every group wants its own rights, wants to protect its language and culture. Different tribes live in these mountainous areas with their own language and culture, and everyone has differences with each other that are several hundred years old. Of course, Iran has kept everyone united under the umbrella of Shia Muslims, but still, protests are often seen here. Recently, protests starting in December 2025 are still going on till today's date, in which more than 7,000 people have died so far. This is the biggest protest after the Islamic Revolution of 1979. Controlling all of them and bringing them under one umbrella has always been a difficult task for Iran. Sometimes one group is angry, sometimes another. While this multi-ethnicity is a problem for Iran, it is an even bigger issue for any outside invader. Whoever thinks of capturing Iran, first they will have to fight the geography, and then they will have to take the people inside along, which seems like an impossible task. This is the reason why, during the British colonial era, when the British ruled the subcontinent, no one was ever able to make Iran their colony. The US and Israel are also well aware of this fact. That is why President Trump is repeatedly saying that the people of Iran should overthrow the Islamic regime, because they also know that defeating Iran without the power of the people is nearly impossible.